minus 10 degrees, 7:30. Today's journey, 300 kilometers, estimated 8 hours. This city's altitude is around 4,000 kilometers, and I was told maybe I will get some altitude reaction, but I was thinking, while I was riding on the Zhedo mountain, it didn't happen, so I thought maybe I can stay here. And I'm lucky, I did have slightly headache. Actually, I will wake up every 2 hours, so I will try to go down and see if things improve. I mean, right now I'm also kind of okay, just don't move too much will be fine. Let's go. Wow, that's a nice sun, huh? You might be wondering, how do I deal with the cold? First, you need to wear as much as you can. Second, I'm about to show you. So the glove does have heating, but the battery dies, unfortunately. But I'm fine with that, because I have this Daytona. When I started to ride, the bike's engine keeps off, and the clutch, throttle, they don't respond. One kind lady offered to help. I thanked her but rejected, because I really don't want to bother strangers. That's why I ride alone. I tried to adjust the clutch cable, wait for temperature to go up. Luckily it worked, but in order to be sure, and I also wanted the chain be tightened. There's a repair shop around 400 meters only. Tried to go there but didn't find it, so I decided to continue riding. Luckily there was another shop just in my way to Batang. He got the chain tightened and lubricated. Explained that my bike's problem is because of altitude and cold. While I was making the vlog, an elder stands beside me, and after I finished, he started to talk English to me. Though I explained that I'm Chinese, he had fun, and to me that is the charming part of language and always being a learner. I started to ride towards Batang, though it's extremely cold, but as the altitude gets lower, my headache gets eased. The view was cool, the road is fine, except the weather is too cold. Then I remembered the first rule, wear as many as I can, so I got another pair of socks, and used the engine to heat my feet. And due to the coldness when climbing mountains, occasionally there are waters, ice at corners. I almost get hit because I used the other lane to avoid the wet road. When I saw the incoming truck, the rear wheel slipped, so I didn't change back to my lane immediately. But either by luck or scares, I managed to evade. But the nightmare just get started. There was part of the road get fully disrupted. I spent almost 30 minutes in fighting with it. It is really damn intense. The following road was pleasure for biker. When I enters Tibet, there was a checkpoint. ID card becomes crucial. When I get to Batang, it is still early, so I tried to arrive ZuoGong. I want to buy some time because of the battery issue. The navigator says I might arrive at 8 p.m. But you know what? I always beat it because I'm fast, really fast. So I decided to carry on without knowing what in front of me because of my no plan is the best plan. And again, the navigator checked and led me on a terrible road. There is no way I can survive this. But again, the navigator didn't say I was wrong. Luckily, I asked the driver at a few minutes riding, who corrects me. When I got down, I saw another car and reminded them. Turns out they know exactly what they are doing. And after arrived roommate around 5 p.m., it might be having ridden for too long and knowing there is still almost 2 hours to go, I get a little bit worried and want to quit. But I did continue course based on days of experience. I know there is always accommodation on the road to stay, and during the road I saw other bicycles, vehicles, so I got my confidence back, and purely by luck encountered the sunside right the G318. Around 6 p.m. when I started to climb Dongdashan, it started to snow. I wanted to give up, but after thinking and reasoning with myself, first of all, it just begins. It only gets dangerous when it melts into water and becomes ice. Secondly, I checked the sunset will be around 7:30 and I can see the sun now. The snow might not last, and the navigator says I have 1.5 hours to try. At that time, I didn't know Dongdashan's altitude is 5 kilometers. As it gets darker, the cliff makes me scary. I only get comfort by occasionally pass some trucks, and when I see the checkpoint of Dongdashan, which means the highest point, I felt relieved. It's always easier to go down here. As I was riding down here, I started to get sick, kind of wanted to puke. Not sure if it is the cold or altitude reaction. My mind told me either way, it's down here, and indeed the sickness didn't last long. Finally, I arrived at ZuoGong. I am fucking proud of myself. Almost 8 hours for 10 kilometers. Wardrobe, mirror, 2 beds. Don't ask me why, because it's cheaper. Bathroom. Actually, they are inviting me for some show and free tea. Bummer.